When you think of action-adventure titles, it's usually a game with incredible set pieces, varied locations, and a one-and-done narrative. Some titles pretend to more though, offering up memorable storylines but continuously giving in terms of content, additional activities, and interesting things to do. Check out our picks for the best action-adventure games that fit this category. Marvel Spider-Man 2.
He just threw a manhole cover at me!
Insomniac Games had much riding on it after the success of Marvel's Spider-Man. How would it take advantage of the PS5's technology? What direction would it go with the introduction of the symbiote and Venom? While some looked at it as more of an iterative sequel than revolutionary, it's interesting how much it does so well. The ability to play as either Miles Morales or Peter Parker is great, especially considering each has unique suits and abilities, while the symbiote adds an extra layer of brutality to the latter. Then there are all of the technical improvements, from the almost non-existent loading times to the always-on ray tracing and increased scale of New York City. With so much to do and collect, the pacing never suffers for it, delivering a memorable story and fights. It also doesn't hurt that the new suits and features continue to be added with post-launch updates. Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar Games' magnum opus, Red Dead Redemption 2 is more than just an emotional prequel to the first game, outlining the fate of Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlyn gang. It's more than an open-world title where you mull about ticking items off a checklist. It's a painstaking recreation of Wild West life, with everything from hunting and skinning animals to proper upkeep of one's person, realistically depicted.
You ain't tough, my friend. What'd you say to me? I ain't finished.
Fists up, let's go! I ain't stopping.
It's full of stories and mysteries to encounter, whether you're learning more about the unfortunate girl trapped in the outhouse or discovering slaves kept by a shopkeeper. Such is the thought and attention to detail that fans still find new things to this day, all while admiring the gorgeous visuals and presentation that can stand alongside today's current-gen grades. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. After Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice was a bold, new direction for From Software. No stamina bar, the ability to revive, an emphasis on blocking and deflection, and a heavier narrative focus. Some thought the experience would be easier than what previous games entailed. While Sekiro thankfully shattered those expectations, it also delivered a dark fantasy through feudal Japan that mixed responsive combat with imaginative art direction and boss fights. The deflection mechanic was utilized in many intriguing ways, and the sheer range of opponents forced you to learn and adapt to overcome. It's a punishing, yet satisfying thrill ride with several secrets to collect and lore to unravel. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. For those who favored a more traditional samurai epic, Ghost of Tsushima delivered and then some. The tale of Jin Sakai, a samurai who turned to guerrilla warfare against the invading Mongolians, is one of inner conflict. However, it opens the door to an extensive open-world playground with vibrant surroundings and organic exploration. Various side quests, be they your companions or mythical tales, lie in wait, with the new abilities and upgrades to collect.
Now, send them to their ancestors.
The combat, from its stances to the sheer number of ways to approach fights thanks to the ghost tools, is utterly enveloping all the way through, and the narrative stakes continuously ramp up. Iki Island, the story expansion, offers even more real estate to explore, while Legends is a fun co-op experience with a separate loot grind and endgame. No Man's Sky. From the most disappointing game of 2016 to the redemption story in gaming, no list of action-adventure games that keep giving is complete without No Man's Sky. Never mind all the features added through nearly 8 years of free post-launch support, giant worms, co-op, land vehicles, mechs, derelicts, extensive ship customization, taming animals, mounts, fleets, and whatnot, Hello Games continues to make strides with its worlds and visuals. Just look at Worlds Part 1, which revamps planetary generation while adding full wind simulation, realistic high-definition water, more variety to frozen and desert planets, new creatures, and much more. The fact that there's more on the way is utterly mind-boggling, but the same could be said of the support till now. As it stands, No Man's Sky is the definitive space exploration experience, whether you wish to catalog and marvel at the sights and sounds of space, or survive against all odds. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Yes, Shadow of War has a larger scale and arguably more ambitious uses for the Nemesis system, but Shadow of Mordor is where it all began. The desolation of the region as Talion stealthily navigates surroundings and assassinates orcs is excellently portrayed, but Shadow of Mordor aspired to more than just sneaking. The freeform combat felt amazing and meshed well with all of the unique abilities. However, it was the ability to manipulate and dominate enemies to progress through Sauron's command that added a layer of strategy heretofore unseen in action-adventure titles. The Nemesis system is the icing on the cake as foes gain different weaknesses and strengths, learning from battles and seeking revenge while possessing unique personalities and one-liners. Control. From its initial trailer to launch, none of us knew what to expect from Remedy's Control. Surreal environments, sure. Third-person gunplay seemed a given, though the various powers were nice. It's only after delving into the oldest house and becoming embroiled in Jesse Faden's battle with the Hiss and searching for her brother truly feels like falling into this inescapable hole of intrigue. The Federal Bureau of Control's HQ is laden with secrets and optional objectives. Some with dedicated stories that stand out to this day, while the level of design and presentation only escalate in quality. The Ashtray Maze alone is worth the price of admission, and Control never really lets up delivering an unconventional yet quietly brilliant narrative that rarely lets up. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. The Yakuza series has been known for its extensive content, whether it's the entertaining side stories or optional activities and minigames. However, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth is in a league of its own, so much so that the development team had to ask players to take breaks and not get sick. You have one extensive story revolving around Ichiban Kasuga, who heads to Honolulu City on family business, teaming up with new allies and old, including Kazuma Kiryu. The latter, meanwhile, gets his own side activity, the bucket list, with separate objectives to complete. Outside of this, there are 52 sub-stories to complete, randomized dungeons to explore and earn loot from, multiple jobs to master, arcade games like Spike Out, Sega's Bass Fishing and Virtua Fighter, 3-2B, karaoke, fishing, and bonds to build. And if you've had enough of all that, there's Sujimon, a venerable Pokemon clone, and Dodoko Island, a Yakuza-esque Animal Crossing, which may as well be a separate game. Call it too much of a good thing or just the right amount, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth's content feels almost bottomless. Dishonored 2. Considering the world-building, themes, and sheer depth of the sandbox gameplay in Dishonored, the pressure on Arcane Lion to deliver with this sequel was immense. Despite several technical issues with the PC version at launch, Dishonored 2 immediately made an impact with its dual protagonists, an older Emily and the returning Corvo, and expanded scale. Karnaka feels like a more extensive playground, with even more ways to bypass enemies, but there are still plenty of ways, both creative and straightforward, to brutalize them. The story and abilities change depending on the character controlled, your decisions affecting the other's fate. The sheer number of expertly executed ideas and well-crafted missions is still amazing to behold after all these years. Whether you're a fan of stealth, immersive sims, or just plain incredible design, Dishonored 2 will surpass your expectations. Outer Wilds. There are games out there that resonate with all kinds of players while still feeling distinctly niche. Outer Wilds is one such title, a gorgeous odyssey through a fictitious solar system stuck in a 20-minute time loop. As you board your makeshift spaceship, the planets are your oyster. There are almost no limits to exploration as you piece together everything necessary to escape the loop. The position and state of planets change based on time, so one planet open for exploration will slowly be filled with sand by its counterpart. Another could collapse into a black hole, spitting you out on the other side of the system. Each clue gathered is another piece of the puzzle until everything is eventually illuminated. Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree. Remember when director Hidetaka Miyazaki touted Shadow of the Erdtree's new map to be larger than Limgrave? Naturally, there was a caveat, but diving into the realm of Shadow and then the expansion as a whole felt more like a brand new game. The new boss fights, from the Dancing Lion and R'Lana to the threats of Jagged Peak, pushed players to never-before-seen limits. The 100 new weapons offered more combat options than ever, while new incantations, sorceries, and spirit summons ensured even deeper build crafting. More than anything, however, is the sheer depth of exploration. Whether you were investigating a mysterious coffin leading to the Abyssal Woods, or trying to get to the very south of the map, platforming across rivers and delving deeper into catacombs, the Realm of Shadow recaptured the magic and joy of exploration. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.